What is going on? I'm zmoT. Now, we've got a new update. First of all, go into that creator boost, throw code zmoT in there. Next of all, check out that daily deal. Second builder coming in hot, decent price there if you're a low level looking to get into Warships or Mega Crab, or maybe you're just trying to upgrade. Maybe you've seen these crazy gray up arrows. I completely ignore updates because at this point it doesn't really give anything to me, but all of these gray arrows make me want to get rid of them, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. And kudos to Supercell for releasing it at the right time. Warships has ended. If they would have dropped it mid-Warship season, it would have been a problem. If they would have dropped it mid-Crab, might have been a problem. And by the way, if you're looking for details on what the heck the upgrade brings, do check out up in that area on the YouTube. I think you have to be in YouTube app. You can't be on your phone watching it in a browser, I think. Anyways, do check that out. We've got the boost all statues button. By the way, it does have a confirmation just in case you're a little bit concerned about pushing it. Also, if you have 0 powder, that button goes away. And if you push that button and you have 12 statues and only 8 powder, it's not going to work. It'll say not enough powder. So doing things right on that side of things. Also, quick note, if you have any problems with this update, do throw it in my comments, but most of the time, contact support. I can't do a heck of a lot for you. Now, what we're going to do in this video is, you'll notice that I've renamed my loincloth troop loadout because I wasn't using warriors because they were glitchy. They are fixed. The good, beautiful warrior formation has finally been fixed. I think that was like 2 months of not being able to properly use warriors because they would completely and utterly bunch up, which meant one mortar shot that was aimed at bullet would take out all of your warriors. So I am going to be a little bit out of practice here. I'm okay with that, though. We're going to start out with brick. We're going to send our warriors in. I do have instant training, so this is going to go fairly darn quickly. Losing some troops along the way, especially as I get warmed up. And for those of you out there wondering why the heck I'm using brick, why the heck not? Now, a quick reminder, the tribes have changed. Make sure you go boost those puppies up. Not a lot of good things for the operation and PvP side of things, but tank damage, that could very well be very useful for the upcoming Mega Crab. I kind of doubt it, though. I feel like mechs have sort of taken over, but maybe, just maybe, you don't have mechs. Anyways, enough blibber blabber. Let's get in. Let's use these puppies. Now, black hole base. Okay, so we are going to go something like this. Now, this is a different sort of attack. This is not the perfect base to be doing this on, but I am very curious to see if the black hole with warriors is still around. Hopefully we get one of those bases. I kind of doubt we will, but you never quite know. Getting that final smoke out second to last, that way brick will hopefully be somewhat useful. We are going to throw some critters out here right about now, getting some critters there and some critters there, hoping that that critter launcher gives us some of those beautiful red critters. Look at that red critter. I like this. Like, I know I got a little bit overexcited about this update. It's not so much about the update contents as in the philosophy behind it. So I haven't heard any major problems with this update, which is fairly new for Supercell. Typically the updates, you get like 2 steps forward and generally 4 steps backwards, depending. Using brick, oh man, do I ever miss the cheap barrage. I was using, and it's kind of funny how tribes actually can influence your gameplay to make it worse, and that is exactly what the tribes did in this instance. I was using barrage absolutely willy-nilly, and that is not how you should probably use barrage. I don't think I used artillery at all last month, last week, whatever the heck it was. We're gonna get brick. We're gonna throw one set of critters and 1 shock, I do suppose. I was looking for the 3rd shock launcher, which felt a little bit weird because we're not playing Warships here. Also showing how Warships can potentially impact your gameplay. Brick is dead. Of course Brick is dead. Brick is always dead. Down goes that base, 11 losses, showing how zmoT is a good time. zmoT generally is a good way to get intel because people tend to ignore it a little bit. Speaking of ignoring, hopefully this is their Hammerman base. That's, again, it's kind of nice. The Daily Cycle of Evil, I'm not a huge fan of it, to be completely honest, because there's many things wrong with it. But clearing your map Monday morning, you generally get at least one freebie, and I am all about the freebies. Get your free intel coupon out. Get those easy bases. I feel like this base has to be a Hammerman base. No one would leave their base over there. They're just going to get crittered. We're going to use warriors. Brick is going to get shot in the back of the head, which she sometimes can deserve. 2 shocks, 2 critters, should lose a total of 0 troops, I think. Notice, never use Iron Will with warriors. I do like that Warships has made Iron Will a thing, but let's be honest, Iron Will needs to be better somehow, some way on the main game. So warriors back to circling the entire headquarters. Other quality of life improvements included. Still waiting for one of those gray arrows to turn green so I can get some form of upgrade going. Just showing that the next level 25 landing craft, not really all that terribly useful. Saw someone petitioning for the one more level of landing craft so they can get an extra grenadier on Reddit. I'm all for it. Offense trumps defense all day, every day in my books. But and that might bring back the glory of the grenadiers. But I have not done. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm doing this straight line drop, try it. I promise you, it will make your warrior hits better. Gets your warriors in that nice straight line. Just never ever do what I just did. Ground flare, so much better. You saw how wide they just walked. Not a good idea doing building flares with warriors. I have many videos on how to use warriors correctly. This is not one of them. This is just me being excited to have warriors back. So we're just going to throw some flares and some taunts. I saw one of you on either Twitter or YouTube comments said you would love to see see that shock timer right there? Would love to see a timer for bullets taunt. I agree with you. It would have to be tiny though, otherwise it's going to be a little bit in the way. I always find myself trying to count to 7 in my head, and then I end up forgetting that I was counting to 7 and just watching the shock timer and bullets taunt. A ridiculously useful and strong ability. This person's going to get some intel from me. They've got 4 protos out, 2 of them being zmoTs. zmoTs are ridiculously good intel collectors, as we already talked about. Do they have any? They got some boosted ice too. Decent little test for us here. We're going to get all of our troops dropping into those flags. Now you'll notice that once troops hit by shock launcher, they no longer walk to their flags. Everspark is likely still going to do silly things if she's hit by a shock blaster or a shock launcher. Actually, you know what? I said that they didn't walk to their flag, but I didn't actually test that. I wouldn't mind testing that just because I feel like those 2 things are a little bit related. Let's throw the rest of our GBE out there in the form of smokes, not smokes, medkits I was trying to say. Getting John Rambo down. John Rambo filmed in the city of Hope, British Columbia, not far from my in-laws' place. Could explain why my wife is such a beast, pulling out first place in her maintenance incoming. I wonder what that is all about. By the way, when maintenance is there, any of your boosts do pause, so don't fret there. Let's see if we can't find a shock launcher that is at the shore. Just bear with me a little bit. I would pause here, but I think we only have a couple bases to fly through. Looking for a shock launcher at the shore, just so that we can see what the heck is going on here. Shock launcher, will they? That's not close enough. I could get a friendly challenge here. I'm only going to look for a couple more seconds. I don't believe resource bases have them. It's just not quite what I was after. Need something a little bit closer. I'm going to pause after this if I can't find one. Let's see what you got for us. Everyone's shock launchers are too far back. Okay, we are going to murder off some heavies here, and we are doing this specifically so that I can test to see what the heck happens when your troops are hit by a shock launcher. This is the same bug that affects Miss Everspark. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, anytime a Everspark is hit by a shock launcher or a shock blaster, she actually walks to where her universal remote was deployed. Heavies do, actually all troops do similar things. If they're hit by a shock launcher, they don't walk to the flag. So I assume they're related. I have zero proof of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my flag way, way, way up here. And then we are going to shock all of this stuff. Might as well throw a smoke on them. If they turn to the right, we know there, you see, that bug still in effect. So the fact that they didn't go to this flag over here, they just went straight up the beach, just shows that maybe, just maybe, that bug is still going on. And why those heavies are still standing back there, that is interesting. So yes, they've done a lot. They've cleaned up a ton of bugs. They haven't necessarily cleaned up all of them though. So interesting to see that those heavies are just standing back there. Oh, they finally clued in. Hey, I've got some work to do. We're going to retreat. That off time is going to wonder what the heck we were doing against their base. I will, of course, forward this along to the dev team so they can investigate. If you guys have any details where you're like, pretty sure that's a bug, send me the details, ideally with a video. I'll make sure that it gets in the hands of Nuno Community Manager, and I will write it up. That's one of the things that I do very well, to toot my own horn. Toot, toot, by the way, that is not a sad trombone. Writing up bugs so that the devs can follow it, because sometimes I'm not sure how much the devs play the game and you guys use terminology that is Boom Beach specific that I get, but I don't feel like they always get it. So we're going to finish with one stage of Hammerman, because you guys should all be doing Hammerman to get that intel for your task force group. Especially right now with no warships, no mega crab. Get those extra intels. Your task force will appreciate it. If you need a task force, check the description. I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Peace.